Walz spent time in Duluth today. He toured a lead pipe replacement program as it's a process set to become common across the state. Northern News Now's Rob Coles breaks down what's behind the push to become lead-free.
After approving $240 million for lead pipe removal earlier this week, Governor Tim Walz got a close-up look at homes in Duluth becoming lead-free.
What you're seeing going on behind us is going to be going on in every community across Minnesota.
Statewide, about 100,000 lead pipes need replacing, with a possible 9,000 of those in Duluth. These homes in East Hillside are having their pipes replaced using rescue plan funds to cover the cost, $16,000 per home. This latest funding will do the same for homeowners across the state.
This is one of the things that government should do. These are one of the things that service that people expect their government to do to protect them and to protect their children.
To remove the lead pipe, workers open up the road and they drill horizontally. They also cut into the basement of the house that's getting the replacement.
It's really going to have a long-term impact in providing healthy and clean water to the residents.
Cindy Falconer with Duluth's lead removal program says exposure to lead from pipes can pose a health risk.
It causes serious health effects, and especially for sensitive populations such as children, infants, pregnant women.
Replacing all lead lines in Duluth will take about a decade. In the meantime, Falconer says there are ways to help minimize the risk.
Once a lead line is identified, the city is offering free water pitchers to residents to use until their lead line is actually replaced.
While getting to all Minnesota houses is a long process, the pipes in a home can be replaced in one day. According to Walz, that work means a boost to the job market.
All these projects are going to be done with union labor at prevailing wage by skilled professionals.
And a brighter future for Minnesotans.
This is what we keep talking about, of making Minnesota a best state to raise your children, have a family.
In Duluth, Rob Coles, Northern News Now.
And once funding comes from the state, the work may begin as early as this summer. We have more information about that funding and how to find out if you're someone with a lead water line to your home at northernnewsnow.com.